the pressure hits, when the opposition hits, when the challenge hits, when the pain creeps in, when the cuts, when the scars, when the bruises come. I want what all other men want. I just wanted a little bit more than they want.
Who got my back? Who got my back? Who got my back?
It's just got to be us playing freaking as hard as we can.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and it's game day. If that video doesn't have you fired up, if that video from Vol Football doesn't have you ready to run through a brick wall on this Saturday morning, you may want to check your pulse. Tennessee has a huge football game today. They got everything to play for. I refuse to be negative. I refuse to be negative when Tennessee is sitting at 7-2 and they have an opportunity to go win 10 football games. They have an outside shot at a trip to Atlanta for the first time in a long time. Yes, we need some help with a friend, but first we got to go out and we got to take care of business against Missouri. I like the matchup. I think Tennessee has a good opportunity to go on the road later today, 3:30 kickoff, and take care of business. We're going to be right here covering it. We'll be live an hour before kickoff for the tailgate show. That's where you guys get an opportunity to come on the show. We'll also be live immediately following the game. I've already said it. Tennessee takes care of business, and then Georgia is getting a game from Uncle Lane. We're going to turn that post-game show into a watch party. We'll stay live all night long to see what shakes out. But as always, do me a favor, guys, smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, and easy, and it does help this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you are new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you here. This is a community of Tennessee fans, for the fans, by the fans. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Again, we will be live an hour before kickoff, so come hang out for that and then immediately following the game. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about number 13 Tennessee going on the road to play number 14 Missouri. Does Josh Heupel have Eli Drinkwitz's number, because he's hung 60 on him the last 2 years, and they've changed defensive coordinators, changed personnel, different things have shaken out, but does Josh Heupel have Eli Drinkwitz's number? We're going to find out a little bit later today. What are the keys to the game for me? I think it starts, pretty much you could say this every week, on the line of scrimmage. You got to win in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and that starts with the running game. You got to stop Cody Schrader. He is leading the SEC with 900 rushing yards. You know, we talked about his story, 4 years as a Division II player, but he's the workhorse, right? He's the workhorse, so he is going to try to lead this Missouri team. I like Tennessee in the trenches. You know, we talk about it all the time, but sometimes I don't think the national media or the guys in the Knoxville media talk about it enough. Tennessee is leading the SEC in rushing, offensively and defensively. The three-headed monster on offense, you got to give kudos to that offensive line. And then what Rodney Garner does with the defensive line, you know, we know what Rodney Garner is going to give us. Leading the SEC in rushing offense, leading the SEC in rushing defense. I think that is an advantage going into this game, and we talked about it kind of throughout this week. Tennessee's got a three-headed monster, right? We saw it in the Kentucky game. Late in the game, you throw in Dylan Sampson. You need a touchdown. You need to capitalize. You need to get in the end zone. Dylan Sampson has fresh legs. He takes you down the field. He takes over the fourth quarter of that football game. He goes and punches it in the end zone, and then he goes and extends the drive to run out the clock and get out of there with a W. I think that's the advantage. Cody Schrader's the workhorse. We got three of those guys in the backfield that are going to be able to lead our rushing attack. Also in the trenches, you're going to have to get pressure on Missouri quarterback Brady Cook. Now, he is athletic. He can make plays with his feet. He can extend plays, but I think you're going to have to get after him. You're going to have to put pressure on him. We've seen him make mistakes. He did it last week against Georgia. If you get pressure on him, can you force him into turning over the football? But on the flip side of that, you got to stay in your pass rushing lanes. You got to keep him bottled in. It will be interesting to see if Tennessee elects to spy Brady Cook this afternoon. But you got to get home. You got to get home. Last week against Connecticut, 1 sack. Game before that against Kentucky, you only got home twice. And I know we can talk about holding. We can talk about officiating. The bottom line is you got to make plays. You got to get home. You got to get Brady Cook on the ground. Hit him. Beat him up. Be physical. Let him know he played in a football game this afternoon. You know, going into this thing, it kind of reminds me eerily of the Kentucky game a couple of weeks ago. You know, Tim Banks had a game plan, and that was to stop Ray Davis. Do we have a similar game plan tonight, this afternoon, to stop Cody Schrader? You know, and in that Kentucky game, you did just that. You held Ray Davis to 42 yards on 16 carries, but then on the flip side of that, Leary threw for 372 yards. We're throwing our remotes. We're punching walls. We're screaming and yelling. But guess what? Tennessee found a way to win that football game. It doesn't matter if you throw for 300 or 800 or 12 yards. It does not matter if you come out of there with a win. So will that be the game plan? You know, Missouri's got playmakers. They are going to make plays this afternoon. Luther Burden, a lot of people consider him the best wide receiver in college football, has 64 catches for 958 yards and 7 touchdowns, third in the SEC in receiving yards. Now, he did get banged up. He got banged up a week ago against Georgia, went out in the second quarter, refused to go in the medical tent, came back out, continued to play. Eli Drinkwitz said this week that he was concerned, that he was questionable. We're going to see Luther Burden this afternoon. Is he 100%? I don't know. They're going to have to find a way to stop him, contain him. That secondary is a concern for me going into this football game. Another key for me is winning in the red zone. That's something that Tennessee has struggled with this year. Settling for too many field goals, getting down there and electing to go for it on fourth down and coming away with 0 points. We've seen Joe Milton turn the football over in the red zone. You cannot do that. You got to be efficient. Missouri leading the country in red zone efficiency. 37 times they have scored out of 38 trips. Now, on the flip side of that, they're 40th in the country in touchdown rate. So they are not capitalizing. They're coming away with 3, and I think that could be a key here. Bend but don't break. Again, is the goal to stop Cody Schrader, and the flip side of that, Brady Cook throwing the football around the yard this afternoon. But then you get down there in the red zone, things get tight, windows get smaller. Are you able to kind of lock him down and force field goals? But on the flip side, Tennessee, in 41 trips, they've scored 35 times, only 21 touchdowns. You've got to capitalize. We can't trade field goal for field goal. You got to get the football in the end zone. I think whoever is most efficient in the red zone could end up winning this football game. Offensively for us, obviously we're going to run the football. That's the identity of this football team. Run the football, a healthy dose of Jalen Wright early, but I also, Joe Milton just needs to go play football. We have seen him play better and better week after week. When you look at his season numbers, you look at the QBR, and you go back to that South Carolina game, and a lot of people thought that was one of his best games at the time, and that is sad because he threw 2 interceptions in that game. One was in the end zone. His QBR was 42.7, but it has slowly been on the rise week by week from there forward. Texas A&M, he only threw for 100 yards, but I feel like in that second half is where Joe Milton really started to turn the corner, really started to change. That's when we saw him truck the Texas A&M defender, and that kind of gave him some confidence, and from that point it kind of became a thing. We're talking about it. We're laughing about it. Joe Milton needs to be hit. Joey Halsley's talking about it. Joe Milton's talking about it. Heupel's talking about it. From that point forward, we've kind of seen Joe get more involved in the run game, and I think we finally have a healthy Joe Milton. I think, he was battling that rib injury we didn't even know about. We didn't even know about that, and then the knee injury, I think Joe Milton is healthy, and I think Joe Milton is playing his best football. Again, we've seen the numbers slowly start to come up. Had 3 incompletions against Kentucky, threw for 227 yards and a touchdown, QBR 87.6. And then against Connecticut, yes, I understand the opponent, 11-14, 254, 2 touchdowns, highest QBR of the year. Can Joe keep that momentum going as we get back into SEC play, as we get back into the 2 most important games of this season? The first one is Missouri coming up at 3:30. Joe Milton just needs to go out and play. Don't turn the football over. Don't make mistakes. Don't put your team in bad situations. Go out there, get going fast, get hit early. I want to see him run the football. They run. Missouri likes to play a lot of man. They like to play a lot of man. So when you're playing man, your back is to the quarterback. I think you get Joe Milton going in the run game. We saw some stuff last week where they motioned Jalen Wright out. You got an empty backfield. That QB draw is going to be wide open if they're playing man. On the flip side of that, can the wide receivers win their one-on-ones? If they're dialing up blitzes and they're leaving those DBs out there on an island, can guys make plays? Can Ramel Keaton make plays? Can Dante Thornton continue to come along? I know we've been hating on the kid all year long because he wasn't who we thought he was. But he started to play a little bit better since he shifted to the outside. Can he win some one-on-ones on the outside? Can Squirrel White win some one-on-ones? Can Josh Heupel dial up some plays? Again, what is it? What is it? Josh Heupel hanging 60 back-to-back years on Missouri. Can he do it? Again, I don't think we're going to see 60, but I like Tennessee in this football game. What do you guys think? I want to see your final score predictions. How are we feeling on this Saturday? Hope you guys are full of energy and ready to go watch this football team because I'm excited. I'm excited. The fan base has been eerily quiet this week, but I think you guys are starting to come along with it. Everybody that's a part of this channel, you guys have been fired up all week, ready to go. What is your final score prediction? Jump into that comment section and let me know. As always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. It's quick, free, and easy. You can also go check out our merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link to that is in the description below. You can also help this channel by becoming a member. Hit that join button. It's right beside subscribe. Hit the join button. There's also a link in the description below. If you've got an iPhone, you got to go through the link. You can give $1 a month. That's it. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows. Try to highlight your comments on the post-game shows. You get a power T beside your name in the chat. More importantly, you are supporting this channel. I could not do this show. We would not be full-time pumping out content every single day, morning streams, evening streams, without the members of this channel. So I'm grateful. Thank you guys for the support. Let's get geared up. Let's get fired up. Let's get ready to go for Tennessee versus Missouri. Don't forget, we'll be live an hour before kick. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.